When I was starting to research for this video, I took a look at the Wikia entry for Katsura Kotaro to get more perspective and some additional information on the character. Funnily enough, I never knew that the information on Katsura would give me such an amazing laugh session. Under the information tabs were a list of names and titles given to Katsura. Let me read them out to you because I want you to be just as happy as I was when I read these. The Rampaging Noble, the Dawn of Joey Shishi, Master Escapee Kotaro, Runaway Kotaro, Bomb Demon, Pine Tree, Kotaro the Coward, the General, the Angel of Death, the Noble Youth of Madness, Fruits Punch Samurai G, Captain Katsura, DJ Ozura, Katsurap, Zura, Zurachi, Zuraku, Izuraku, Hashira Afuro, Yellow Curry Ninja, Katsuo, Joey Katsura, Miraculous Idiot, General, Donald Zurump, Il Smith, Oba Z. I have nothing to say about these names, I just know that if Katsura is referred to or refers to himself as the names that I've told you, then Katsura has definitely owned up to that title. Period. So on to the video. Katsura Kotaro is one of those characters that just stand out. He has a certain magnetism about him, and the reader has a certain expectation of him that whenever he will appear, there will be something heartwarming or something comedic. That expectation, coupled with the music and overall aura of Katsura, when received by the viewer in a tightly bundled package, makes one appreciate the former as a character. True enough, whenever his theme song was played, I just knew that something funny or outright idiotic would take place that would ultimately make my head feel lighter. I personally feel that that is the true magnetism of Katsura Kotaro, and it showcases how well he is written as a character. His foolish antics is one of the reasons why he's beloved by so many, and is the reason why people love Gintama in general. There are plenty of characters in the Gintama series who, in the past, have been broken to the point of no return, but their humor and the way they interact with one another is so seamless, natural, and lifelike that you just feel as though they're performing these antics right in front of you. Now, I wouldn't be doing justice to the titular character of this video if I didn't mention the amount of influence Katsura has in that equation. There's this scene early on in the series where Gintoki asks Kagura to call an ambulance. Instead of calling the ambulance on the phone, she shouts, "Ambulance." By itself, it's not a natural thing to say, but I think I hit the point across when I say that when similar scenes take place with Katsura in them, the scene always gets you a laugh. The thing about Katsura, and which is something I think extends to Gintama characters in general, is that they're so funny, so hyped up, so emotional, all at the same time that you go back to watch them and enjoy the whirlwind of emotions. I can say for myself when I say that I've rewatched Gintama twice and haven't felt bored in both sittings. When it comes to Gintama, I feel that fans in general do not focus on the story arcs or the overarching storyline, but rather the comical, action-packed, or emotional settings that the characters find themselves in various different arcs. I think most of you would agree when I say that the most iconic moment of Katsura in the series, and one which I think got him on the map, was when he became DJ Ozura and filmed his famous Katsurap video. I would go so far as to say that the Katsurap sequence is one of the funniest scenes in the entire series, because there's no preemption to it. Hell, it's not even a part of what's going on in that arc, or episode. Gintoki is just trying to make Kagura learn how to say kawaii in a more resounding and perhaps sophisticated manner. Both of them are funny, but then comes in Katsura for no particular reason, as though he's Forrest Gump, and starts rapping only to be kicked in the head by Gintoki. When the former asks him what he's doing, all he replies is, "Katsurap yo." Now there are three versions of the Katsurap video, the original, the live action, and the one where Kondo is the guitarist. I've listened to them all, but I personally feel that nothing can beat the original. So yes, in conclusion, the Katsurap sequence, 10 out of 10. It is without a doubt a cornerstone of everything there is to know about the Gintama series. The next thing that I want to talk about is that one story arc where Katsura has no role to play in, yet he comes at the very end writing to Gintoki and being salty that he was put on standby during the entire arc. Not only does that break the fourth wall, seeing Gintoki angry at Katsura and spitting on that letter makes it all the more funny. The infant strife arc is another example of Katsura popping up and making us laugh. While Gintoki is trying to save the baby from the kidnappers, he takes refuge in an alley. Katsura, pretending to be a shaman begging for food, looks at his can and says the coast is clear, indicating his idiocy of thinking that the baby and Gintoki are hiding in that can. Again, Gintoki's anger at his actions makes it all the more funny. In a similar manner, when he goes to a DVD store to buy a video game, the cashier tells him that he doesn't have an ID on him, which is a mandatory thing to have for a purchase. Seeing as though he has no other option, Katsura shows the cashier his wanted poster. The last example that I want to give out before I segue into the next section is the Jackie Chan arc. Now this was an arc that was all about Katsura. It was so entertaining to watch Yamazaki get confused and taken for a ride in trying to decipher the mind of Katsura. The best part about that arc was the fact that the writer made Katsura utter that one joke about Jackie's nose and then created a whole arc around it without it getting boring for once. So yes, I think I get my point across when I say that Katsura adds humor when it's totally unexpected and does so with the best comedic timing that I've ever seen in an anime. I think part of the reason why Katsura is such an appealing character is because of his close association with Gintoki. Now, when I say close association, I don't just talk about the present timeline of Gintama. In fact, the thing that I talk about is his relationship with Gintoki in both the present and the past. While their mothers are different, their teacher is the same, which is why in this part of the video I want to discuss the similarities and differences that he has with Gintoki. One of the similarities I've already discussed with you when I mentioned that both of the samurai were trained by Shoyo sensei. Both of their skills are magnified when they take on opponents of all sizes and come out on top of them. The iconic fight scene against the Harusame is one such example of their swordsmanship in action. In the Joi War, both of them led troops into battle and fought against the Amanto. The two became infamous for their onslaught against the opposing force. The one similarity of both of them, and one which is as heartwarming as it is comical at times, is that both of them have a strong and independent woman by their side. With Katsura, it's Ikumatsu, and with Gintoki, it's Tsukuyo. The only difference between Gintoki and Katsura comes in the present and how they look at the world. Gintoki has given up on high and noble ideas. It was never his nature to do so. He doesn't want the reformation of the old system and doesn't want to gather troops to that end. He moved through life in a nonchalant manner, not caring about anything or anyone at all. Though he does develop the care when he meets Shinpachi and Kagura, but it's worth noting his ideals. With Katsura, the ideal is not dead. The dream of reformation is not dead. He actively works towards a future in which the samurai aren't bound up by the Amanto and looks to free them. While noble, his ideals aren't in line with the government who labels him out to be a terrorist. That being said, his actions aren't the type to border on the complete destruction of things like Takasugi Shinsuke. He's more peaceful in that respect. This is the part of the video where I would like to pay homage to Hideaki Sorachi for creating a series with so much depth. When writing the script for this video, I didn't know what I would write or record even. When the thoughts started to flow in, there was so much information that I had to subtract so as to not extend the length of this video. I guess the proper conclusion to this video would be to say, yes, we can. Thank you so much.